Hey there. Welcome to Skandia FlockTalk, a regular podcast for the faith family at Skandia Free Church, where we talk about our faith in God and church life at Skandia. Our mission at Skandia is glorifying God, equipping believers, and spreading the gospel.
You can watch the video versions of this podcast on our Skandia YouTube channel and Facebook page, or you can listen on Apple Podcasts. If you aren't already a part of our faith family, head on over to our website, skandiaefree.org, for more information on how to find our church family both online and where we meet on Sundays. We would love to see you in person. Thanks for stopping by, and stay tuned for today's episode.
Well, hey there. We want to welcome you and say thanks for joining us for today's episode of Skandia FlockTalk. With me today is Boss, and I'm Coach. And we are not only the hosts of today's show, but we are also blessed to serve as pastors and shepherds and podcasters here at Skandia Evangelical Free Church.
Never did I think that would be a part of my life. So
yeah, I know. Thanks for
Henry
coming along the ride with me.
Myers is responsible for that. So
yeah. Skandia is a country church located in the heart of harvest near lakes and cornfields in rural Murray County, Minnesota. Pastor Ryan is the senior lead pastor, hence the nickname Boss.
And Pastor Henry is the little bit older than me associate pastor of youth and family discipleship, hence the nickname Coach.
Well, Boss, what's in store for us today?
Well, with all this fall chaff in the air.
There's a lot.
We almost went outside today, by the way. But
it's pretty breezy today.
It was my fault. I wimped out. I said 48 degrees is a little cold for me to sit outside. Yeah. So otherwise we'd be out there.
It is a beautiful harvest day, though. 60
it's gorgeous.
Degrees now. Yeah.
Not a cloud in the sky. The corn is even coming out. It's coming out fast. And so in light of all that, we will dive into, well, not in light of all that, but there's no connection whatsoever to fall.
No,
but here we go. We'll do a dive into our sermon, Falling from Grace, Galatians 5:2 through 12.
Okay.
And then we'll look at some upcoming events, some youth and family events, and Bible trivia.
Yes, some good Bible trivia. All right, well, so we roll the dice today, and we'll see what comes up.
Here we go. Says number 5. That's good gossip, which we don't have any today.
Yeah, so hey, we'll plug it though. So hey, Skandia, we love this news section, and I think you do too. And so, we had some good gossip last podcast about just ways people are serving. And so if you see or hear anything, let us know, because we want to make sure that makes the weekly podcast. So.
Yeah, I would say that we had a hole in our worship schedule about, 2 days before Sunday. Scott Donnell, with 48 hours of notice, jumped right into the fray and led worship, and so I'm deeply appreciative of that. So thank you, Scott.
And I will also say, so I know Vanessa Beto, so The Rock in Tyler, the youth center in Tyler, had a huge rummage sale fundraiser.
Yeah.
I saw Vanessa, and I'll give a shout out to Elsie too. They were there right away Friday to help with stuff. They ran the cash register and all that. And just as an announcement, you guys will hear it before the newspaper does in Tyler. It was the best rummage sale ever.
Wow.
Over $15,000.
No way.
Sale. And so Skandia people, I know I saw some of you guys there shopping, so thanks for that. But yeah, let's give a shout out to Scott Donnell for jumping into the worship lineup quick, as well as Vanessa and Elsie for just serving their little hearts out.
Well, I heard it was that the line was out the door and down the street to get in.
Oh, it was clear down around the corner, yeah.
I avoid such things as though it were the bubonic Black Death, but my wife and children love it.
So how about that? We didn't plan any good gossip, but then we thought of some. So.
There you go.
But we're gossiping about you. We would rather you gossiped about each other, but if not, then...
in the best possible way.
Who knows what we'll find out about you, so... Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
Number three. Upcoming events, short this week.
Yep.
Just that we have our quarterly meeting coming up on November 2nd. second sounds like 6, but it's not the same. So 2, 1, 2, November 2nd. So there will be no second hour that Sunday. And here is this has never happened in 18 years. I have been at every congregational meeting that Skandia has had for 18 years, but I won't be there this Sunday for this meeting. We will have Bob and Mark leading that meeting. In fact, Henry, you won't be there either.
No, I'm gone to Missouri for a wedding that weekend.
So that's a good shout out, a little more good gossip to Bob and Mark. So it just so happened that many of you know that I am a not closeted, very out in the open Nebraska Cornhusker fan, and I was gifted tickets to the Nebraska USC game in Lincoln on the 2nd, which would make it very hard for me to be back to the church on the 1st. And maybe you think that's a really bad reason to miss a congregational meeting. I did too. And so I said to the elders, I can just turn the tickets down. It's not a big deal. Henry has a wedding. That's a legit reason. But they said, no, we don't think there's a reason that you need to be here for this. Please go to the game.
Yep. And we talked about rescheduling the meeting, but I think it's, we are blessed to serve, like we say in our intro, as pastors and shepherds. But the truth is, you guys are the church. We just want to help serve. And so this will be a good thing, I think.
I think it's a great thing. And the reality is, we've been saying for years that elders are lay pastors. And so they are serving in this capacity as lay pastors. Yep, and 100%. That'll be an important meeting. You want to come because we'll be affirming possibly 2 elders. More on that later when that's officially out. And then you'll get to meet all the people that are filling the slots for 2026, that November-ish meeting. Sometimes it falls at the end of October, sometimes beginning of November. Yeah. You'll find out all the people that will be serving in the other ministry teams for the upcoming year.
Yeah. Lots of good stuff happening. So great meeting. Sorry, we're sad to miss it.
I honestly am. I like our congregational meetings.
I do too. They're great. So, but hey, thanks for stepping up, guys. Appreciate it.
There we go. All right. It was number 2. Which isn't there because
so roll again.
Number 1.
Sermon
review.
So this weekend's message, which I was not able to attend, I was off serving at Lost Timber as the speaker for the 6th or 8th grade Elevate fall retreat.
Are you going to talk about that at the Youth and Family?
Oh, I wasn't, but I can a little. Yeah, you can quiz me about that.
I heard it was great. I had a daughter attending it, and I had a daughter working it, and they said it was a fantastic weekend.
Your Hannah was so cute. She was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were speaking this weekend." So, we'll do that. But for this though, that's why I wasn't here. And so, falling from grace, Galatians 5, chapter 5, verses 2 through 12. And check out the sermon on YouTube. And here's a little plug. I was gone, so I watched it on Monday morning when I got up. And then I just kind of listened to it in my truck and in my earbuds when I was out in the garden yesterday. So I've listened to it twice now, watched it and listened to it. And so I just want to say I am so glad we record. So who were the sound techs and stuff that day?
Was it Sawyer and Maddie?
Was it Sawyer? That's who was on the schedule. I wasn't sure they were the ones.
I think it was them.
Yeah. So if it was, thanks. Big shout out to Sawyer and Maddie. Maybe that's some more good gossip there. Sometimes you feel like it isn't that big of a deal, but for those of us who, we are gone sometimes, or I know there are people that we actually have a lot of people watch the sermons. And so thank you guys for doing that. So check it out on YouTube if you missed it. It's there. It should be the newest one. If you're seeing this, it'd be the video right before this one chronologically. But anyway, kind of a summary. You kind of had a Q&A on the first slide. Mm-hmm. How do you live a holy life in Christ? The answer, kill legalism and live by faith. So let's start to unpack that, or maybe even if you have any questions from second hour later, we can be thinking ahead to those, or wherever you want to go, boss. So.
Yeah, it was kind of a quiet second hour in terms of questions. Okay. We had a lot of good discussion, but this passage is hard hitting, verses 2 through 12. Because as direct as Paul has been throughout this book, I think that he is exceedingly clear here.
Yeah.
Where he's starting to sum up what he has been trying to say for the last 4 chapters so that he can get to the application part.
Well, and it's the beginning of the application part as far
Yeah.
as the right teaching of the doctrine in 3 and 4, even starting in 2, I think 2:14 or wherever. But yeah, I mean, just he just head on tackles the Judaizers versus the Galatian Christians, and just trying to really help bring some clarity there. And so yeah, there's it. If you're a Judaizer, you'd feel a little bruised. I feel like mentioning the retreat this weekend, Addison knocked heads with a kid and came out with a bit of a shiner out of the deal. And if I was a Judaizer, I would feel like I really just got a sock to the guts. Listen to this.
Well, this is what it is. Yeah. If you go back and read chapter 5, verses 2 through 12, this is pretty hard hitting.
Yes, for sure.
Paul just out and out says, well, here it is. He says, I say to you that if you accept circumcision, Christ will be of no advantage to you. I testify again to every man who accepts circumcision that he is obligated, that's a big word,
to
keep the whole law.
Right.
You are severed from Christ, again.
Which is a play on word thing.
Play on word with what we're talking about.
Circumcision thing, yeah.
You who would be justified by the law, you have fallen away from grace. Those are strong words.
Yeah.
Because Paul is very upset in
very
this
much
letter.
so. Very much
more so than in any letter that he wrote.
Yeah, I think you mentioned in this message, or maybe it was last weekend, how there's definitely an angry tone.
Yeah.
And this is a bit of a crescendo here. It feels like he just in fact, I think the ESV does use verse 12 there is exclamation points. They'll all emasculate themselves. I mean, you can just see him. And again, this is a letter. So I'm I like to use my imagination. Hopefully it's mostly sanctified as I do this, but again, Skandia, don't forget, these are letters that we have now multiple copies of, so we can trust them. But I like to imagine their original, I imagine I'm in the church in Galatia. So these false missionaries have come through. Do we know who delivered this letter?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know that we do. Anyway, whoever delivered it, I guess it doesn't say. Yeah. So this letter's been delivered to the church. We've gathered for our gathering, whether that was Sunday morning, Sunday night, Monday morning, I don't know when, and we got a letter from Paul, and maybe we don't have all of the letters he ever wrote people. So here we are gathered, and whoever our head elder is that day that's going to read starts reading this letter, and you're just like, wow. I mean, so this is Paul's. So if you have a chance, if you haven't done it yet, and especially since we broke it up this summer, maybe sit down and just power through the whole book, and just listen to it as a message, and you're just like, wow. And you just feel like if you're reading this out loud, you have to just get louder and louder and louder. I mean, right? Just
things like who has bewitched you?
Yeah.
Why have you put the gospel on the shelf, essentially? Because remember, they're being taught by these false missionaries that if they want to have Jesus, they basically have to become practicing Jews.
Yeah.
They have to keep Torah.
Yeah.
Circumcision, kosher, festivals, even sacrifices, because there was a temple at that time, all in vogue. Do everything if you want Jesus to apply to you. So we would put their message in what I've kind of sophomorically called the Jesus Plus Club.
Yeah, no, I use that phrase a lot.
Yeah. And that's a dangerous thing. As we walk through the application sections, and Pastor Henry's going to take one of these messages as well. Unfortunately, there's no new heresy under the sun.
No. Nope.
Everything is just respun and recapitulated in a new package, and unfortunately, because it gets new packages, people fall for it.
Yeah.
Anything that is peddled to you that is, if you want Jesus, you have to add these things, is a false gospel, because that denies the very concept and heart of grace. Grace is getting all of the riches of God at the expense of Christ.
Correct.
That is grace.
Yeah.
You don't add anything to it.
And I think, we struggle with this, or I did. You process this with the phrase, fall from grace kind of a thing. And I think about, correct me if I'm wrong, Pastor Ryan, but I have been a Jesus Plus club member. That I have Jesus, but then whatever it is, and I'm adding it, because I think about, even Second Peter, which I taught on at the retreat, the adding to your faith things. So you add some things, and these things are good, and maybe I'm disciplines or the Sabbath or whatever it is, right? I read something in Scripture, I'm just going to do it and obey it, and I add it, and it benefits me. The problem is, like the Jesus Plus Club, what a Jesus Plus Club person does is suddenly, and you don't start off thinking this way, but suddenly you think, well, gosh, we really need, maybe you need Jesus and this to really understand, to really be saved. And that is the problem of the Jesus. So it's not Christians that have added some other stuff just for their own personal benefit, but people that have now said, this is essential for salvation.
Essential to make God happy with you. Yeah, to make God pleased with you.
Right.
And there's some pounding going on in the kitchen below us.
Oh, no. Our Wi-Fi disappeared, but we don't use it for recording the podcast. But...
No, I do think they're setting up for Wednesday night right now. So okay. I'm listening to them. But I don't even know where I was. What was I saying? Distracted by the sounds.
Yeah, that's all right. We were talking
Jesus
about
Plus Club
Jesus
doesn't
Plus
work.
Clubs. Right.
It doesn't work.
Right.
And in all sincerity, Paul says that trusting in the law for spiritual growth is Satan's idea.
Yeah.
He loves legalism. And I think that shocks us because we tend to think of Satan associated with what's called licentiousness, do whatever you want. He loves that as well. But his MO is anything that takes your eyes off of Jesus.
Correct.
So if he can trip you up with pleasure, great.
Yeah.
You take your eyes off Jesus and you start pursuing something else, a hobby, a pursuit, a job, whatever it is. Great. He can trip you up that way. But he will also use even God's own word sometimes. He was tripping up the Galatian Christians by making them so consumed with rule keeping from the Torah that they lost sight of Jesus. And this is such a central tenet to me. We must always view all of faith through the lens of Jesus. We let Jesus interpret everything for us, and we don't ever go the other way. Yeah. They're being tempted to interpret life through the Torah,
right?
Not through Jesus,
right?
Dangerous.
Yeah, you had a good point. Message, the message to the Galatian Christians. So as Paul's writing this here in chapter 5, he kind of had two big points for this. So again, imagine you're the Galatian church hearing this. So you're in attendance and you're a Christian in this church. Trusting in the law for spiritual growth is dangerous. That was his very clear point, verses 2-4 that you made. And then, this idea that instead, so again, he doesn't leave you hanging. What you need to be doing instead is be resting in the work of the Spirit, because that is what brings life through real, true spiritual growth, right? And that's going to get fleshed out even more here later.
We spent the whole second hour talking about what that means.
Good.
And starting to introduce that idea. And really, it sounds off-putting to us. Are you telling me, Ryan, that the key to overcoming these struggles that I've had my entire life is waiting and hoping in the gospel? Yes. Yes. And that looks like a specific flavor. Like there's things that looks like, but that really is it. That if we honestly want transformation more than anything else, God is pleased to give us that.
Well, and I even ended up rewriting my last talk at the retreat, and maybe I'll talk more about this during the Fruit of the Spirit sermon review. But I was really caught up. I was using Colossians chapter 2, verse 6 and 7, which is our theme verse for the year, and just the whole 6-7 thing with the youth group kids. It was really fun. But I had this thought, Ryan, in looking at, the end of Colossians chapter 2, verse 7, where the final piece is this, the abounding in thanksgiving. So I was thinking about it this way, that if you want to see spiritual fruit in your life, here's the work you have to do. Because I feel like sometimes with the spiritual fruit, we pursue it, even self-control, right? it seems like that should obviously be something I'm going to work on controlling myself. But that's not what it is. It's a spiritual fruit. And you think of 1 Timothy, where Paul says, God give us a spirit of power, of fear, or of power, of love, and of self-control.
Yeah.
So God gives us, so it's not even that. But what do? I give thanks. If I give thanks, my focus returns to the Trinity.
Yes.
And I give thanks for these things. And so that is the thing you can do is, as you rest in the Holy Spirit, you give thanks in all circumstances, whether they're trials or joys or whatever, giving that thanks to the Creator God and His Son and His Spirit. That is how you rest in the Holy Spirit. Thank you for this. I just trust you in this. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just going to place myself in your care.
Yep.
And I thank you, right? It should always be that, 1 Thessalonians 5, just always thankful, always thankful.
It is. It's how does that, because Paul literally says in this text that waiting, with hope, in faith is what brings about transformation. He said, well, can that possibly be the case? What he's going to talk about is that this waiting with hope, in faith, trusting that God will do what he says he's going to do, it looks like some things. It looks like exposing yourself to these truths day in, day out. This is why we read the Bible. It's not so that God will be happy with us. It's that the more that we focus on his thoughts, the more that we focus on his words and his concepts and the way that he is, this actually transforms our lives. The more that we soak in these things, it begins to work a transformation in our life. The more that we're around his people, whom he's working in alongside of us, it begins to transform our life. And so there is a waiting and hoping, just like, and this is what Paul argued, when God said to Abraham, hey, you're going to have a son, what did Abraham do? He believed and he went about his life, walking through life as a man who will have an heir, even though he didn't.
And then he was credited with righteousness.
And then he was credited with righteousness because he just believed it.
Yeah, as you were preaching this, I thought of Romans 5. Through him we have also obtained access by faith into his grace in which we stand, and we rejoice in hope of the glory of God. Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame because God's love has been poured into our hearts.
Yes.
And that's that whole idea there. You want to give thanks and then wait and then hope. And let the Spirit bear the spiritual fruit in you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, starting at verse 7, and I would be curious about this. So these Judaizers that come into this church, I would assume they would gather with them and they were going to devote themselves to the apostles' teaching. Wouldn't you think? Anyway, I'm going to assume for a moment that there are some Judaizers in the congregation as well. And then verse 7 is read out loud. The author of legalism is Satan.
That's essentially what he says there.
Oh, wait, what?
With his illustrations of who's hindered you from the race, or
the bewitching.
Yeah, that's earlier, right? Who's bewitched you? He says the author of this is the opposite of the one who first called you. So the one who first called him is Jesus. Right. Who's the opposite? It's Satan. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not him who calls you. But then, unpack the grace is offensive piece. So how was that a message to the false missionaries?
Well, I think it's a message to the false missionaries because we know from the first two chapters, Paul had to address this, that we don't always know exactly what the opposition was saying, like word for word in Paul's letters, but based on what he has said in his letters,
that's obviously circumcision.
You start to build a case for what was being said. So they brought this idea of you can't have Jesus unless you have the law, and then they must have, because Paul addresses this several times, that I'm not a people pleaser. They must have said Paul's a people pleaser. He refuses to tell you about the law because he doesn't want to depress you. But see, we love you enough to tell you this hard thing of, guys, you got to get circumcised. And so they're saying Paul's afraid of offense. He's afraid of offending the Gentiles.
Sure.
And Paul's like, if I was afraid of offending you, I would never have shared the cross with you.
Well, and if you want, I think what's helpful too is if you have time and you really are kind of maybe getting into this, you got some time in a tractor or a combine or something, to listen or read through Acts, beginning around 12, 13 through maybe 18 to 20 or somewhere in there. Because these Judaizers, they followed Paul everywhere he went. Like like in Colossians, I've been reading through Colossians. I mean, they were doing the same thing there. They were getting people worked up about celebrations, Sabbath festivals, all this kind of stuff. And and that's what you see in Acts. It's in there. In fact, they're the ones that stir up the crowds to persecute Paul or whatever. I mean, these guys or guys probably most likely, but I mean, I was kind of thinking about that. You call them false missionaries. But they were, I mean, they were probably Christians, Jewish Christians, right? I mean,
well, on some level,
they talk about the Jesus Plus Club. I don't know what to do with them sometimes.
They were taken with Jesus on some level. What they actually believed about him, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But they were very, very concerned with keeping Torah observance and Jesus.
Yeah, they come from Jerusalem, the church in Jerusalem. And and I really appreciated how I think you started to poke at the heart of it about how, a lot of ways they were motivated by fear. And that's where I think some of them were genuine. I think they genuinely loved Christ. I mean, they would have to a little bit. And Paul, it appeared Paul was giving the Gentiles a free pass, like the licentiousness, right? Giving them a free pass to do whatever. You guys don't have to give up all this. And so I think, like how the Pharisees sometimes got a bad rap, I'm guessing these guys really did love God and love his word, the law. And they're trying to correct Paul, but Paul's like, oh, you guys, and you think about that for the Jew that becomes a Christian it would be hard to let some of that go, which is why Hebrews is written later, right? To help bring some clarity to that.
Hebrews, and even in his first letter to the Corinthians, he outlines this position of stay as you are. It's okay.
Yeah.
If you're Jewish, you don't have to give up the festivals. You don't have to give up Sabbath keeping.
Yeah.
You just need to understand that stuff is not earning anything for you.
Jesus paid it all.
Jesus paid it all.
Yeah.
And the same with the Gentiles. Gentiles, you don't have to eat kosher. In fact, if you go to Acts 15,
that's where the ruling was made.
Which is probably spurred on by what happened in Galatia.
That's what I think. Yeah, in my timeline. Yeah.
But if you go there, they say, hey, the only thing we're asking of the Gentiles is that they would be sexually pure, that they would take care of the poor, and that
not eat meat with blood in it, the blood, or drink the blood.
That essentially meat that had a part in pagan rituals of some nature. Like, would you do this out of respect for your Jewish believers? Because I don't even
brothers and sisters, right?
Yeah. I'm not even sure that Paul cared that much about that point, other than it was a big sticky point for Jewish people.
For some, yep.
Yeah. And they kind of like the thing, if I'm hanging out with someone who's keeping kosher, I'm not going to have a BLT in front of him. That would be a terrible thing to do.
Correct.
If it offended their sensibilities. If it truly offended someone's sensibilities, there's a lot of things I wouldn't do.
Right.
I actually love this was about alcohol, but one of my professors at Trinity used to say, I think it applies here. He used to say, if you are struggling with alcohol, I would never take a drink in front of you. Ever. Like that would be harmful to you.
Yeah.
But he said, if you tell me that my grace is dependent upon whether or not I drink or not, I would say pass the port, and I would drink right in front of you to defy you.
Yeah.
There's the difference. Yep. Because one is, this is a genuine struggle and I love you. And the other is,
wanting them to stumble. Yeah. Right.
The other is, I'm telling you can't have Jesus if you do that.
You must not be a real Christian.
Yeah, you must not be a real Christian.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's a great question. Were these false missionaries Christians or not? I don't have an answer for that.
No, and we can't really get there today. But we can definitely see they were, at best, they were misguided. I think that's the severity of the warning of falling from grace. That if they themselves not, but definitely, the quote. I thought the quote you got from, I don't know who is Elise Fitzpatrick. Who is that?
I don't know much about her other than this book.
Okay. So you got it out of a book?
Yeah.
Yeah, but just this idea, which I think is what makes me so sad about some of this teaching. But I think she's spot on. That these Judaizers, false missionaries were purporting, it is a false gospel.
It is not the gospel.
We are not handing down Christianity to the next generation.
Yeah.
And man, that gets me riled up. But but that's what was happening, right? That's why Paul is so concerned that as these Judaizers come into the Galatian church that he and let's see, Galatian producers probably Barnabas planted, they're unraveling what's been planted. Or it's like if you think of like something growing, they're just coming in and cutting stuff down and replanting it with garbage, and it's not the gospel anymore.
Well, it's not the gospel anymore because the main issue here, I think, is holiness. Will these Gentiles...
Which Paul does care about.
Yeah, and Paul does care about that. That's why he says in Romans, should we go on and sin that grace may increase? He says, by no means. No, how can we sin if we've died to sin?
And spoiler coming up here in 5, right? There's a way they used to live.
Yes.
You're not supposed to live like that anymore. You should be.
And I did mention this on Sunday, that this was the hallmark of Jesus, where he said, you think external religious things are going to clean the inside of your soul, and they will never clean the inside of your soul.
Whitewashed tombs.
You need something foreign to come in and clean you from the inside out. So this is what Paul's railing on. This is what you're going to get at, is that it's the Spirit's work in you that makes you holy. It's not the Torah.
Correct.
In fact, the Torah exposes your unholiness.
Right, which was its purpose.
Which is his purpose.
Yes.
So it's not the gospel, and the tragedy is, what are we passing to our kids? Because this whole concept of do to earn favor, it has plagued the church for 2,000 years. And it very much has been a part of American church culture. Keep in line, do these things,
dress a certain way, sing these certain songs. Yep. There's all kinds of forms of it. The Judaizers. Feel free to ask more questions about it, guys, if you're listening or got questions. But there's a lot to think about here. But anything else you want to kind of touch on today, or
maybe just to say that this whole concept of falling from grace, we talked about this Sunday. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have lost their salvation. What it means is that they just jumped into legalism and they're not living in grace. The frightening reality is if you walk far enough into this legalistic place,
right,
then it may expose the fact that you don't have any concept of grace at all.
Right.
And in that case, then that could be spiritual death for you.
Right.
So there's a lot on the line here. This is why Paul's so mad.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that was great. That was good.
All right.
If you got questions, feel free to ask, guys. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next thing.
Keep going. 4.
Oh, youth and family update. All right. So what's coming up tonight? So you probably won't hear this, Skandia, but tonight is movie night for the older kids, 9th through 12th grade, and Bic as usual for the 7th and 8th graders. And so we will not have a time of worship tonight, so you get a little extra time for teaching tonight or games or whatever you want to do. Our movie starts right at 6 because it's a longer movie. So if you do happen to hear this, if not, we can talk about the movie another time. But then this Sunday, October 12th, is the Food for Kids packing event. The Tyler Alliance Church hosts this. It actually helps feed some of our kids in Haiti that are supported by this church. Yeah. And our time slot for the youth group and some of their family members is from noon to 1 that day. Skandia, huge shout out. This would be good gossip for the whole church. Again, I was gone this weekend. Thank you. Oh, another good gossip. Thank you, Joelle and Faith Detterman for doing the announcement portion. But Skandia, you brought in $1,500, but then I found another check, so $1,600 so far.
How much it was?
Yeah, because it was 15, right? That was the first.
I thought it was 17 that came in, and then we had another check for 18. So maybe I'm
right. Oh, you know what? You might be right. Well, regardless, it's already more than what we got total last year.
It's pushing $2,000.
We're getting close, and we've still got this Sunday to collect a little more. So, Skandia, thanks for stepping up. Kids, thanks for stepping up. This is going to be great. I've already kind of been giving the Tyler Alliance Church a heads up on rough numbers of people coming and dollars, but I told them we'll have a final count that Sunday. So,
and the cool thing, $100 feeds a kid for a year, right?
Yeah, so $56 feeds one child for 7 months approximately, and so $100 would feed them for at least a year.
Isn't that amazing? So 20 kids.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So guys, thanks so much for supporting that. And so kids get ready to work. We pack up these little food packs and box them. And last year, Skandia Youth Group, I heard through the grapevine that we just rocked it because we set the bar pretty high for the bags per hour, and then we pulled a double shift and just rocked it. So I look forward to doing that again. So other than that, the Lost Timber Retreat this last weekend, it went really, really well. I was blessed to be asked to be the speaker. Emily, Emma, and Aaron all led worship. And we had a lot of Skandia kids there. It was great. So taught from Colossians 2:6-7 about being in Christ was the first session, and then deeply rooted in him, and then how we become established in our faith and we branch out, learning how to share our faith with others. And then we ended with this idea of abounding in thanksgiving and how do we do that, and just challenge the kids to live out their faith. And it was great. Had one young lady come to Christ Friday night, which was really kind of cool. She gave me a big hug Sunday when she was leaving. Just thanked me. That was really sweet. I was very blessed to do that. So anything else you want to ask about or comments, or I don't know what all you heard from?
I just was excited to hear about it.
It was a beautiful weekend. It was a little warm, pretty hot actually.
You guys could have gone swimming in the pond on October 4th.
I don't think that would have been pretty ick up there. But anyway, for outdoor games, it was great. And then the only other thing I've got on youth and family is we are bringing back again this year, like we did last year, the chili cook-off. So I'll have a sign-up sheet, Skandia, out this Sunday. So you can sign up this Sunday, MEA weekend. We'll send some text reminders and stuff out too, probably. But get you signed up to do your best pot of chili. That'll be a part of the potluck. So Skandia, the rest of you guys can bring some sides. Kind of think chili, what would go good with chili, but it doesn't have to. You can bring whatever. So we'll do like we did last year. We'll have the rows of the pots of chili, and then maybe another area where you can get the rest of your food. Yep. We'll do some judging. I've already got the prizes. We got little sample cups. I got some judges in mind. Gonna have a ton of fun.
So that's going to be the October the 26th. We'll have communion.
26th, yep.
And then I think you're preaching that Sunday. I'm actually
preaching that Sunday, yeah.
Galatians. Then we'll have second hour, and then we'll have the chili cook-off, and Vance has a title to defend.
He does, So a youth group, during our second hour, we're going to be setting up for this, but looking forward to it.
Fantastic.
So, all right. Well, I think
we're
all
ready.
That's left is
Bible trivia.
All right. So get dialed back in here.
I am going to flip the coin of providence.
All right. I'm going to switch this time and call tails.
This is really hard to flip because it's so light.
Tiny one,
I think that, it's a crown. Is that heads or tails? Did we say that was heads last time?
I think we did, because the sticker or blank.
Then I won the coin toss.
You won the coin toss. So what do you want to do?
So I will go first.
All right, and then you get to roll the dice.
Okay.
And
5.
5 will be LNS.
Numbers and sequence.
Letters, numbers and sequence.
Not my forte. I'm a historian, not a math major.
All right.
Am I going to read in a squirrel voice?
I don't know. I think there's a pretty good chance. Maybe not. How many incidents in the life of Jesus between the ages of 2 and 29 are described in the Bible?
How many incidents between 2 and 29?
Incidents.
Just one. Two incidents. Two. Final answer, two.
Final answer, two. Let's see.
Oh, how many incidents are there?
Should have went with your first answer. It says one.
Oh, I challenge.
Just Luke 2, 41 through 52,
no, I challenge.
The boy at the temple.
I challenge.
Okay, what would be your second one?
Second one would be when he's 2, that's when the whole thing with the Magi happened.
See, I would do that, and yeah.
I mean, I'll leave it at the discretion of you, the rule holder. If I read Nescoro Voris or not, I guess technically I got the card wrong. But Skandia, just so you know, I don't believe I got it wrong.
Because between 2. Because he would have been, I think, between 2 and 3 in Matthew chapter 3, right?
Yeah. That's,
you know what?
That's
We've
my
been
thought.
talking about grace in the gospel. I'm gonna change it.
Hey,
yeah, because I agree with you. So
met.
Yeah, part of our job is to, as shepherds and pastors here at Skandia, is to sort out some of this wonky
to
stuff.
critique board games.
Yeah.
Are going by law, not by
so
grace.
Skandia, hear us. Clearly what they were fishing for was Jesus at the temple when he was, 11, 12, 13, somewhere in there. But yeah, between the ages of 2 and 29.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus could have been just under 2, but he also very well could have been, because they
He's about 2 years
kill
old.
the boys.
Yeah, when the Magi came and Joseph was warned in a dream and they took him off to Egypt.
Yeah.
And he spent part of his boyhood in Egypt.
What was the decree in Matthew? It's Matthew 3, I think, where he says we're going to kill all the babies.
Yeah, Herod did that. So you got it.
Who were 2 years old or under.
Yeah.
So Jesus
he was in the 2-ish range.
Yeah. So I maybe get where they came with that. Jesus would have been under 2, so I see what they're doing there, but
maybe.
Maybe.
He might have been. I don't know. I will certainly.
Yeah, well, because Herod would assume Jesus was less than 2, because 2 years old and younger.
So, do you want me to read in a squirrel voice?
No, nope. I already made my executive push button decision.
All
so
right,
I'm going to give it to you.
You have to give me the cards.
Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
Not reading
You're
them.
good.
You can shuffle them if you want.
No, I'm good. I do need to find an actual question though. Here we go.
All right, LNS.
LNS. Are you ready for this?
No, but go ahead.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just going to switch questions there. So here we go.
Oh, that was kind of you.
From which story of a building did Eutychus fall out of a window while listening to Paul's preaching? From which story of a building did Eutychus fall out of a window while listening to Paul's preaching? Remember, Paul must have been a boring preacher.
In Acts, yeah. And then he fell out and he died, but then he was raised to life. Oh, man, what story?
Fell asleep while Paul was preaching.
Oh, it's either the second or third story, I think, but I got to pick one. I'm gonna go third story window.
You are correct.
No way, really?
Third story window. Wrong card.
Oh, I was so ready. Is it really?
Yeah, I would have said second. I would have gotten that wrong.
Well, because I'm thinking construction back in that time. Did they make third story houses?
Well,
but evidently,
according to Acts, yeah.
Yeah, don't look it up because I don't want to.
No. I would have made you say zucchini in a squirrel voice, and that would have been a lot of fun.
That'd been fun.
So,
hey, good job.
Good job.
Well, hey.
Well, it is time to pray.
At the 43-minute mark. We're doing great. So,
and, I wonder if we could let some of Psalm 103 guide our prayers. It's a busy season right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, lots of prayer
people in the field
farmers.
And want to pray for the farmers. So Psalm 103, I'm just going to read the first part of it. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. So what are the benefits of the Lord? Here they are. Who forgives all your iniquity. Who heals all your diseases.
Yeah.
Who redeems your life from the pit. who crowns you with steadfast love and mercy, who satisfies you with good so that your youth is renewed like the eagles. I was at Camp Chaminade this last couple days at a pastor's retreat that our district put on, and sitting by the beach, and just the Lord really pulled me in. He satisfies you with good things.
Beautiful up there, isn't it?
Yeah, in the midst of all the craziness of this season, when we stop and just remember that we have all our satisfaction in Jesus if we let it.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Father, thank you so much that you're with us. Thank you for this season and the bustling busyness of harvest, because that's by your design. I don't think that busyness is ever something that you want us to do long term, but man, when this time of year comes around, there's an energy and an excitement, and we thank you for it. The crops are here. They're abundant. And we do continue to pray for safety for our farmers and for those on our roads. And we pray, Lord, that the crop would indeed be abundant. And Lord, help us to be a people of grace.
Yes.
Who live by grace and show grace. We ask in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. I would only add also a people of the gospel, and working.
There we are.
Working to let the Spirit lead us to spread it. Well, boss, we've come to the end of our episode for today. Any final closing thoughts?
No, sir.
All right. Well, hey, thanks again for stopping by. And remember, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and ring that little bell if you want to get notified when a new episode goes up, either later tonight or tomorrow. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, just click the little plus button and follow the show. Thanks for listening. We hope you can join us again next time on Skandia FlockTalk.